And you can introduce yourself by your name and like I guess your career, because since you guys are alumni, anybody can feel free to start. I should leave that there.
I could start. I'm Chris, Christopher. I prefer Chris, but it's a name. I can be called whatever, dude. Doesn't matter. I started out Rutgers in the EOF program, like you all. So I started out. I guess I should talk about my journey a little bit. Started out as a biology major, Spanish minor. Biology, I felt like through taking courses, it wasn't exactly for me as a major. So I switched the two. I did the Spanish major, biology minor. It worked out. I graduated undergrad, and then I decided to go in the teaching route. So I did the MAT program for Spanish. So that's the master's in teaching. And then so I have my undergrad and then grad degree in teaching. So post graduation, I've just been kind of swimming around, trying to find different opportunities. I just got done teaching at a high school at Gloucester. It's called Gloucester Catholic. I taught there for a couple months, trying to get different experience. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And then I'm also going to be teaching a course at Rutgers. If any of you all want to sign up for it, but we could talk a little bit about that at the end. And yeah, that's my spiel.
I can go next. Hello, everyone. My name is Nabil. I graduated in this June. Yeah, literally 2 months ago in May. And I was a bio major when I came in. I came in with Chris. Chris was actually my roommate for the EOF program when we were doing it in person and staying on campus. So I came in as bio 2. Me and Chris had the same classes. And what I did, I wanted to do nursing. So I switched to health sciences to get my pre-nursing credits, classes out of the way, excuse me. But then I didn't get accepted into nursing program. So what I did, I did this internship that EOS students, if you guys are, obviously you guys are freshmen, next year you guys can definitely apply. It's called EOF, SOM prep program. It's for EOF students, and it's a medical school, it's a DO school where you can do an internship there. It's only a month, you stay, you can't work, unfortunately, but they give you a stipend. I learned a lot from there. Just wanted to see if medical school was for me. But coming down to it, I know myself well enough. I'm not going to do well on the MCATs. So right now I'm currently working at DaVita. It's a dialysis place. So I'm getting my hours to go to PA school. So once I get my hours, my goal is to get 1,500 by the end of next year. So I can apply next year while I'm getting the hours, so they can see like I'm working and I'm also getting these hours. And also I'm gonna try to get into getting my GREs done as well. So right now I'm just trying to focus on this training. It's a 12-week course training. I'm almost done my training with DaVita. It's a different experience because I never worked in the healthcare, but it's awesome. And I've been with EOF since I first came here, like I said. So if you guys have any questions about health sciences, me and Chris are here for like science questions. I don't know if anybody else, but we'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
I guess I'll go next. Hi, my name is Trayvon Walker. I'm an accounting and finance major. Well, I was an accounting and finance major. I graduated May of 2020. So in the middle of the pandemic, I guess that's when it first started. But starting out my career, I started EOF like you guys. Obviously not virtual, but it is what it is. But I started out my career, like my collegiate career, getting an internship at PwC, which is like an accounting firm. And that worked out because I just went to an accounting meeting because I didn't know what else to do for my collegiate career. So I just went there and tested the water to see how I could get the job in the future. So I did that, and then I wound up getting an internship the next 3 years. So my whole college career, I was interning at PwC. And then right now, I'm 9 months into my career at PwC, doing like accounting work. Um, so yeah, it's not biology like Chris and Nabil started out, but they also branched out. So yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Awatif Hussein. I was in EOF just like you guys. I was with EOF for my entire college career as well. I was a business management major with a minor in human resources. I didn't realize that I wanted to officially minor in human resources until about like my sophomore year. Currently, I do customer service because I had a few internships lined up before the pandemic hit. I was supposed to work at PSC&G as an HR assistant. And let me tell you guys, it's definitely hard getting into the HR world. So definitely make sure you make your network while you're at school, you have access to everyone. So that didn't follow through. So I'm currently still on a job hunt to get into my career path, but that's not going to stop me. I'm still very much early into my career or the start of my career, and I graduated in January 2021.
I think that's all our panelists for today. Okay. Well, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Jasmine Ricks, and I'm currently a peer coach for the EOF staff right now. And all my other colleagues are going to introduce themselves as well.
Hi, everyone. My name's Anaya, and I'm a peer coach as well.
Hi, my name is Sabria, and I am a peer coach as well.
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm also a peer coach.
Alrighty, let's get started with the questions. So our first question for you guys is, how do you think the EOF program serves their students, just understanding the roles that EOF plays?
Can you repeat that question one more time?
No problem. How do you think the EOF program serves their students, just understanding the roles that EOF plays?
So EOF plays a lot of roles. I feel like EOF has served, personally, I think just a community role. So we're a small bunch. Well, my program specifically, we were 50 or 55, that number. So I think that community role definitely played a part in a lot of our personal development, a lot of our professional development as well. Because we did spend a lot of time with each other. We were, in the same building, and especially the small campus. So you have a lot of time to create that community that EOF wants to strive for. So yeah, that community goal is definitely one of the most important, I feel like.
Yeah, and to go off of what Chris said, because I definitely agree. And it's very good to have an encouraging, supporting role by your side throughout your whole college career, no matter how long you're in college for, and what you do. So it's good to have that encouragement to do whatever you feel like you want to do, and you can also go to them as resources, whether or not you want to do, say, find an internship, they can point you in the right directions to do that. So that's how EOF, I think, helps.
I'm going to say EOF definitely was a family to me. I was also in EOF with Christopher, Nabil, and Trayvon. We all entered at the same time. When I tell you EOF is going to be your partner in crime, your sidekick, and you're going to be the superhero, that's what it's going to be. It was plenty times where I felt like I was in a midlife crisis when I was like 19 or 20, and EOF was right there coaching me through it. I did have a change in counselors, but they were all great. You know, Randy was my initial counselor, and then now I have Terrence, which is great. EOF is going to be your mother, your father, your emotional support, your therapist. It's all going to work out at the end as long as you stick with the program and trust the process, honestly.
Yes, I have to agree with all three of them. Basically, to say what they said, but like in high school, if you don't, you have your parents coming in and telling you, the teachers telling them what's going on. But EOF is like the parent on the campus. But they won't. The thing about them is they won't scold you. They won't bicker at you. They will make sure to lay down what you said to them in the beginning, and they'll keep that goal in your focus and keep pushing you. Even during the hardest times, I had the same issues too. Like in college, you learn a lot about yourself, like everybody says, and that is true. And EOF is just there for a helping hand.
So our next question is, what are your favorite memories at Rutgers-Camden?
EOF, I will never forget, because that's your first interaction with the campus. It's your first interaction with peers, faculty, and staff as well. Not all the faculty and staff, because it's during the summer. Not all of them are there, but it is your first interaction with the campus in general, and that's very unforgettable. Also, for me personally, also to reference EOF once more, the relationships one gains, because those will never go away. So you'll still see people, have relevance in your life after the program, throughout college, and possibly throughout your careers. Also, Rutgers-Camden has a lot of travel opportunities. So I personally believe, it is important to be culturally aware. It is important to be aware of your surroundings, socially aware. Therefore, I feel it is important to mention we have programs here for learning abroad, study abroad. I've been to a couple, Cuba, South Africa, Spain. They changed my perspective fully, my opinions about not only university life, not only about professional life, but about my worldly view. So those moments throughout the program have definitely been impactful for myself.
So I, I think Chris, you said that the memories, like the people, like just everyone that, yeah. So I definitely agree, because unfortunately, like since you guys, like, so obviously we weren't virtual when we first came in, but like on the last day of EOF, like me and my roommates all went out to go to friends, which is on the campus as well. That was it was it wasn't like crazy, like nothing crazy happened, but it was just like the last day of EOF, and everyone kind of split up for the year. But obviously we still saw each other on campus, and we still interacted with each other. It was still cool. And that lasted throughout like the rest of my like 4 years. So like even to this day, like I can still chat it up with Chris or Nabil or Owatif, like just like as if nothing really slowed down. So that's definitely a big thing.
I would say my favorite memory of campus is working at the campus center. So I worked at the campus center since my freshman year all the way until my senior year. I was a building manager for maybe 2, 3 years. And then my final year, I moved over to an impact boothie. And when I tell you guys, you will meet any and everyone at the campus center, you will meet any and everyone at the campus center. But it's also great because you have that access to all of the people around you, whether it's students, faculties, you have the deans upstairs. You want to make those connections. I'm going to tell you again, you need to make those connections because they will help you in the end, especially when you're having your midlife life crisis, like I said, because you will have them. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, you're going to have them. It's really going to feel like the end of the world, and you're going to know a few people you can dial up or reach out to because someone always knows someone, and your issues kind of get resolved a little faster when you know someone, let's be honest. So I would say that was definitely my favorite. I was also a part of ASA, and sometimes I helped out in other groups across campus for fraternities or sororities just because it was in the vicinity. And why not expand your network? Because sometimes I see these people in the campus center and then a semester later I have them in class and we know each other and we can help each other get through whatever issues we're having with that professor in that class.
I agree with all of them, what they said. Also, there's like not one single memory, it was like multiple, because I was a lot involved in a lot of organizations. So I was the president for MSA's Muslim Student Association. That helped me like get a lot of connections with different type of people that were coming into our organizations. It wasn't just restricted to Muslims. We had a lot of non-Muslims come, and then our other organization I was involved with is SSA, Sikh Student Association. I'm not a Sikh, but I was always there helping them out. Those are a lot of the memories, but majority of the time that I can recall, the best memories were from EOF. Like going to, there's this thing that happens, Mark conference, it was in person, very great experience. You meet a lot of people. I only been there once because of scheduling and like what's going on, but it was a great time. And then there was like a lot of other trips that we made to New Brunswick as from Camden. And it was so much fun because we can see, like, we know all of the EOF students and we got to like chit chat with them. And during the whole time we were together. But if they split us up, but then there will be at least one person from Camden with you. But it was a great time, like going to these events or workshops for EOF in different places. But I think that's the majority of the importance is like having that connection is very key. It's like how Awati said, we're all gonna go through something, and we need someone or some people. It could be more than one. And plus, letter of recommendations, they're gonna help you too for like future, if you're going to grad school, if you're going there, or if you're going to anywhere for internships. But yeah, connection is very key, and that's what creates memories, I think, in my opinion.
So we have, I don't want to mess up or butcher your name, but Zima or Zema, how do you say your name? I just wanted you to introduce yourself and like, what are you doing post-graduation?
Okay, so my name is Zema.
Okay.
I was in your position. I was in RA for EOF my last summer before COVID. And post-graduation, I've been working at a bank. It's about to be a year now. And I'm moving up to a higher position soon, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I agree with everyone else that we were talking about, just like your best experiences. I worked at the impact booth with a Watif, so I can say that that's the best place to be. You see a lot of characters, you come along, across a lot of people. But I think my favorite experience had to be being an RA. That gave me a whole different standpoint on what EOF was and what my job was. And I still keep in touch with all my EOF kids. So that was an experience that I can't replace. So, yeah.
So our next question is, are there any resources that were offered by the EOF program or Rutgers that you wish you discovered sooner in your college career?
That I discovered sooner? I think throughout my college career, and less my senior year, I was exposed to a lot of things. Like I think every time I ran into a snag, I was at my EOF office. I just think utilize the people that you have on campus. Those connections are important. Make sure you keep in contact with your academic counselor, with your EOF counselor. Make friends with your professors. I have, one of my econ professors, he's the head of the department, but throughout the year, he was sending us applications, work applications, getting us free programs, teaching us how to maneuver the system. So I think that is one of the most important resources that you could probably utilize on campus is everyone around you.
I guess I'll go next. So Nabil mentioned like the opportunity to go to conferences and stuff. I was on every list. I'll just say that. So
Yeah.
definitely make sure you are taking advantage of those types of opportunities. Chris mentioned study abroad. I never did that, which is something that I guess to answer your question, that's something that I definitely missed out on. But I mean, you still have the opportunity. You have your 4 years or 5, however long it takes you. You can definitely like take advantage of at least one opportunity that you've been thinking about you want to do.
I was actually going to participate in the study abroad program, but literally a week and a half away, COVID hit, they canceled our flights. I was so upset. So I'm so upset to this day, honestly. But for the opportunities, I would say because I withdrew from a few classes during the semester. Either I didn't feel too confident in my grades or I felt like I wasn't getting proper assistance. And please be mindful, you get so many withdrawals from your classes, but so many. And you have to make them up. You definitely have to make them up. And I had to use EOF to help me pay for a few summer classes. And I definitely wish I did them sooner. I think it's more so procrastination or, if funding wasn't available, I didn't know, but I didn't check, but I didn't find out until the last minute when I actually applied. So if you ever are in that situation where you withdrew, please start planning when you're going to reapply or figure out if you can incorporate it into your summer because EOF can definitely help you.
To kind of go off of what Awatif said, yeah, there's gonna be times where you take a course and it's just, oh, this course wasn't for me, and you say wasn't because it's already, it's 10 days before the end of the course, and you're just like, wow, this grade is not sufficient. But again, there's gonna be, college isn't, you get one after you're out. No, it's not like that. It gives you get a lot of opportunities. The goal is to build. The goal is not to destroy. The goal is to build, to develop. On that community level as well. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities there. Again, a withdrawal, not that bad, but again, what Watif said, you do have to pick it up. Eventually, things have to be picked up. And simple life lessons like this. And again, EOF can definitely help. Even a simple, summer credits to make up. Even a simple conversation, a simple, to try to boost your motivation. Having conversations with a lot of the staff members of EOF can be very beneficial in that motivational aspect as well, if that's the struggle. But you just have to find your center. Everyone's different. Just have to find your center, and then everything should work out, and everything does work out. So no worries at all.
Also, don't beat yourself up because you couldn't figure the class out or because you're not doing so well. I had one class that changed my entire major. So you have time, but make sure you keep yourself on track because in college, no one's going to be holding your hands. No one's holding your hand, telling you to go to class, doing whatever. So your actions really impact the way that your semester is going to go, the way that your classes are going to go, all of that.
I agree with what everybody said. And also you have to take into consideration, Rutgers has a lot of resources. It's obviously it's the state of New Jersey college. So it has all the funds, it has everything that you need. Always take advantage of tutoring. If you're really struggling, don't keep pushing it off. It's free. I learned that the hard way. I was struggling in a class, but good thing I caught it in time while I was like, hey, I'm gonna sign up for tutoring. So many people are available to tutor. If there's not a person to tutor for that class, it's probably a new class or something, you can reach out to, I forgot the person who looks over that, but he will definitely look out for you. or she, I forgot who it was, but they will always put that foot forward for you and make sure you get the right tutoring, right resources you need to do better in the class. Because think about it, you're paying for all this college and tuition, you have to take advantage of it. Don't let your mind think like, oh, somebody else will help me, or I'll get to it later. No, push yourself, use a lot of resources. YouTube is great. You know, even like professors, seeing them in office hours. I was always in office hours in the classes I was struggling the most. And the reason why I took care of that is because the professor knows this knowledge. They're just teaching it to help us move on to our next stage in life. So they already know this information. They're the best people to go to get answers from. So that's what I used to do, office hours. And the one thing I do, I agree with Trey, is missing out on the study abroad. I was thinking about doing it, but then a lot of stuff would come up, or I wouldn't have enough money to get it. But there's a lot of funding that are there to help you to go abroad. But I do suggest, like, if you guys can, if you have the room, or if you have the money, if you have time, go for a study abroad. You'll learn so much, like Chris said. And it's an amazing experience from everybody that went that told me.
So our next question is, how did the EOF Summer Institute prepare you for your first year in college?
I think it definitely was not difficult to get around. A lot of these freshmen that came in, after we did were just very confused. Where's financial aid? Where's the Office of New Student Programs? Where's admissions? And we had the head start in regard to that. So we didn't really have to worry about these things. Also, the communication with faculty and staff that were on the campus at the same time we were, because we were on that more personal level. Because when a new group of students, more heavy group of students come in, and it could be a lot more overwhelming because that's more people. But when it's just these students, and when you're able to communicate with these staff and faculty on that more personal level, that's that. I mean, I viewed that as a head start. So definitely with networking, and also with just generally knowing the location of a lot of things clears your mind for more to come, because there is going to be more to come.
So just to piggyback off of what Chris said, definitely the heavier flow of students that's coming in, you're not going to get that one-on-one time, or you're not going to get the help that you need. EOF definitely helped me because I had to take English comp over, and I had to take some math courses over just to prepare me and get ready for the semester. I feel like if I didn't have the opportunity to take those courses, I might have been a little behind, because in business management, as my major, it's a lot of math that you have to do, and math courses you have to do. So that definitely helped me and prepared me for those classes.
I agree in terms of getting around, but also you already start with credits, and you already start with, at least some points towards your GPA. So I think that already puts you ahead of everybody else.
I think she froze, so I'll just take over. So in terms of what she was saying, I definitely agree, because I needed 150 credits for my accounting degree, like in order to be eligible to study for my CPA, which is like a certification for accounting. So it definitely helped me. Like EOF helped me with the workload and being able to do 150 credits in 4 years, which is a lot of work. It's definitely a lot. Like I know, so the Bill shaking his head because I'm sure he's had to do it. So it's a lot of work. But if you do summer classes, like what I said earlier, like you can really graduate on time or early, depending on your schedule and how you plan to attack the college your college degree.
I just want to quickly add, since we were there earlier, I think with EOF, we were off on the weekends or had free time during the weekends. You definitely get a chance to explore the area around you. Like I've never been to South Jersey. I've never been to that Camden area. And I got to definitely explore Philly and Cherry Hill more. So when those new students come in, you know, you already know where you want to go because you got to experience finding those places.
So yeah, so the question was what you can help the new students or the new coming people. I'm sorry, I didn't get to hear you because you got cut out.
It's okay. The question was, how did the EOF Summer Institute prepare you for your first year in college?
Thank you. So basically, like where all the buildings are and everything, literally my friends that were just coming, they were coming in with me as a freshman, but weren't in EOF. They were like, yo, how did you know this was here? How did you know this is there? How did you know this is there? I'm like, I was here all summer, and that's basically pretty much it. Like that's it. EOF literally tells you exactly where everything is. And I don't know if since you guys are not in person, we did a scavenger hunt and to see where each building is, and we had to go to each building. We were running around the whole campus, and people were just looking at us. All the custodians, like, what are these kids doing? But they know EOF is always there in the summertime, and we take over. And especially like running the trains and going to Philly is so much convenience. If people have anxiety or don't want to drive in Philly, the train is so clutch because it's literally down the street from our campus. There's 2 stops you can go to before you get to Philly. Also, if you drive, you can just take the bridge over, and it's very convenient. And also, like the resources that are available too, we knew about it, and a lot of my friends were struggling in classes, and I would direct them straight to tutoring, and they would use it because we already knew about all these resources that are available.
So our next question is, what are some of the challenges that you guys faced in undergrad and how did you overcome them?
I would say one of my challenges was definitely procrastination, and I'm going to advise you guys not to do it like I did it. So entering college, you know, high school, you do like maybe a 5-6 page paper. I had a 20-page paper due. And after you break in your first 20-page paper, it's going to be very consistent throughout other classes. But I waited till maybe 2 to 3 days before this 20-page paper was due. When I tell you guys I dressed for my funeral, I literally wore all black. I sat in the cafeteria, I got my Starbucks, and I was like, why did I do this to myself? But you will definitely have times where you think, why did I do this? And you just literally have to tune everyone out. I think literally like the next 3 days, I was in the library, I had my music blasting, and I was just in tune with my work. And I got it done. I worked good under pressure, but it got done.
I think for me, the most challenging thing was taking, I think at some point I was taking like 17, 18 credits, which, I mean, if you can do it, do it. But at this point, I was a bio major and I was already considering changing my major, so that wasn't the best. I had to just, and especially when you think about changing your major, it kind of makes you lose that drive and motivation for your current courses, because that's not necessarily, they're not necessarily a part of the major, or they may not necessarily be part of that changed major. But just remember, credits, they do count for something. Free electives, for example, even if you want to do a minor, they won't go to waste. Credits really never go to waste, especially when it's a course and you get the experience out of it. But definitely if you think you want to take, I recommend for freshmen always to take 15 credits, just because you want to see your comfort levels with it. It's definitely different from high school, anything we've experienced before. So you just kind of want to see where you stand. If you're comfortable with that, maybe like 15, 16 credits, whatever. And then sophomore year, if you feel confident and comfortable enough to increase the amount of credits you are taking, then do so. And then you may graduate early. I had the opportunity to graduate a semester early, and I it was stressful. I was under a lot of stress eating and stress doing very, just my mind was everywhere. But in the end, it may or may not be worth it. But you just have to find that your personal comfort levels.
I agree with Chris. I had the same issues, but my main issue was time management because I would take the train to come to campus when I first started. Before I got a car, I would take the train, the River Line from Burlington all the way to Camden, which wasn't a bad ride because it only took 30 minutes, 35 minutes to get there. And time managing, like how the classes are going to be and how long it's going to take time to walk. Like, God bless, the campus is small. It has perks, so you can get to class immediately. I would take my time because I know some professors like get there late or either they're strolling late. But the trains, even the PATCO, or if you guys are coming from like Lindenwold or down there, they run really smoothly. They'll get you on campus on time, so you get to class. They run very frequently. So anytime, like, I would suggest is if you're having trouble with like studying for exam, transportation, or just like projects, plan yourself, get a planner. I never thought I would get one, but I got one all the years in college. I used it so much. It helped me like better have time management and to hit all my goals and study in advance and not to procrastinate. I agree with Awatif. I used to procrastinate a lot, but like how she is, I like to work under pressure and I do well under pressure, but there were so many other stuff that were piled up. I would have to do it in advance so I won't get myself in trouble or have my grade affected. But anyways, it was nice speaking with you guys. I have to run, but I'm dropping my email. If you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out, any of you, and I'll be available. Thank you so much, panel, the assistant panelists, for having me. Take care, everyone.
Bye, Nabila.
So to go after, because I definitely agree with what Owasif and Nabil said about time management. For me, my biggest struggle was getting to class on time, or granted, anywhere on time. The mornings were rough, and I don't think I made it to my 8 a.m.s on time, like near it all, like maybe like twice a semester, which is not good, obviously, because then I'm listening out on a lot of content, and it definitely took a lot of studying in order to catch up in that time that I managed to miss because I wasn't on time in class. So definitely, I say time management, but in a different sense that you should. I would say you should probably get to class on time. And mind you, I also lived on campus, so it was bad. But I mean, definitely don't do what I did. It's easier said than done, but don't do what I did.
And I would also like to add, I'm sorry, Zima, you can go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. I would definitely say just because you had an 8 a.m. in high school, it's not necessarily what you want in college. Because I had an issue getting up at 8 a.m. for my classes, and literally me and my professor had to have a one-on-one because she thought I had a problem with her. But really, I'm just grumpy in the morning. So I just look mad at the world. But definitely get a planner. I had a dry erase board marker next to my bed, and I would have a scheduled day during the week, and I would change what assignments or homework that was due or tests coming up. So I knew in advance.
Yeah. I agree. I had a dry erase board in front of my bed. Every day I would wake up, look at it. You knew what you had to do. You have to do it for the month if you have to, something. But also, don't overwhelm yourself. And what I mean by that is like, don't bite off more than you could chew. That's my biggest thing in life, not even in school. But when you do it in school, like at one point I was working 2 jobs and like being a full-time student, that's a lot. And that's going to reflect in your classes. It's going to reflect in your health. So I feel like one of the biggest things for me was just like making time for yourself and just scheduling everything out. It sounds tedious, but it's necessary.
So now we're just going to open up to the students if they would like to ask any questions.
I have one. Not sure if this makes sense, but what was your biggest blunders and how did you get over them? Like big failures, and how did you overcome them?
Let's see. I would say, because there comes a time in the semester where you just get so stressed that it starts to affect your social life. So some friends that, in the beginning, we're all happy, we're all excited. And then like middle of semester, maybe midterms and finals even, sometimes you tend to, I don't want to say you lose friendships, but things happen. People get mad, people get emotional. Just at the end of the semester, try to reconnect with people and say, hey, I was at a bad moment. And then just maintain that communication. I definitely had that. There'd be disagreements between me and some peers just because of the spiral of emotions that were happening during the semester. But just remember, because when those stressful times end and those emotions, they become stable again. Just remember, oh, I had good times with this person. It's time to reconnect again. And I think that's really important for a developmental aspect as well. And another failure, again, if you fail a course, it's not the end of the world. If you withdraw, it's not the end of the world. I withdrew from physics, switched my major around. I do wish I continued, because I took one test, I got a 12 on it. I was like, no, this is not who I am. But I also was comparing college to high school, which was not a good idea because totally different realms. I wasn't used to failing to that degree, so I just dropped the bio major in general. But I do regret doing that because I wish I could have pushed forward more. But to this day, I really don't I half regret. I'm very proud of myself for what I've accomplished with the Spanish major, just embracing with the culture, learning to the best ability of the language itself. So those were a couple of my blunders.
So I wouldn't necessarily call them failures. I'll call them lessons. So as Chris was saying, sometimes you do lose friends, that you started with freshman year to your senior year. But I wouldn't call it a failure because you're growing. The whole purpose of college is to grow, become independent, find out who you are, what you want to do in, your future career. And sometimes people that you used to have, early on, they don't align with your goals and who you want to be, or, they just don't align with you anymore. So it's okay to, just drop friendships or, things aren't working out. It's fine. It's understandable because you each are growing into the people that you want to be. And I would say, I was talking about my withdrawal of classes. I did have a professor. He was giving me mixed signals because one second I'm failing all of these things, but he's like, no, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. When I go to these office hours, he's like, the grades aren't accurate. We'll figure it out. And I'm like, okay, but that doesn't give me confidence and you're not reassuring me. To me, if my grades look this way and you're telling me I'm fine, it doesn't match up. So I actually withdrew from that class because I wasn't comfortable with it. And I think Zima had the same professor. She had the same professor. So yes, I did withdraw, and EOF helped me pick that class back up by helping me pay for summer classes. But it was a lesson for me.
Absolutely. I think my biggest existential crisis was when I had to change my major, just because that's when you think back on it, it's such a life altering thing. Oh my God, I came in here to do this. I'm not doing it. I'm failing. It's fine. Like, you're going to get over it.
All right. Well, same thing as last time. So to piggyback off what Chris and Watsif and I guess what Zama was about to say, I like to look at my college experience like in rose petals, like in a rose. I don't know how to say it, but like in a very positive fashion. But there was one semester that I took on too much. I was like president of like in like two different clubs, and I took 6 classes at the same time, and it all came crashing down. I managed to finish it, but it was definitely rough. And it came in my sophomore year. So I mean, right then I could have just said, I don't want to do this anymore. But I know I stuck it through. And I like to say that my 4 years has two different timelines of me. Like freshman and sophomore year, I was just trying different things, just trying whatever I could. And then junior, senior year, I was really settling into who I want to be long term. So like health is wealth, what was mentioned before, taking care of myself and planning out what I want to do in the future. So I would definitely say that was my biggest blunder, was like having to withdraw from a class that one semester, but it definitely helped me in the future and into like to build my character into what I am now, I feel like.
I think I have a follow-up question. So why is Trayvon Space immediately go to that? So I'm wondering, so I think about like, I know all of you, so obviously, and some of you, I was your counselor way back in the day. And now look how far we have come, right? So 4, 5, 6 years removed from that initial experience. And so when you look back, when you think about yourself in the summer experience, that first summer, what was something that you assumed about college that you then realized was not true when you got into college? So this could be anything. It could be like, it's going to be real easy and I got this. And then that wasn't accurate, or it could be something like completely different. But I'm just curious because I think everyone comes in with this different idea of what college is based on what you see from other people. But what was that experience like for you?
I assumed that all professors were going to be very difficult. All professors were going to be strict and nothing tolerated. Just like very just an overall stressful environment. I thought the classroom was going to be, but that's not all professors. All professors are different. All professors have different personalities. That stereotypical TV professor that just gives you a 1,000-page book and says read this overnight. No, that's I did assume that it would be kind of like that, but it's really not, because all professors are different. All professors run their classes differently, and you as the student, you definitely have to know your professor, know what they like, even make them laugh once in a while, because get on their good side. Even getting on their good side can make you stand out from everyone else in the classroom. Sit in the front of the classroom, raise your hand, make that hand go up, make it soar too, because it's definitely worth asking questions and just getting to know your professor on that level. But yeah, I assumed that just all professors were going to be difficult, but that's not exactly the case.
And just to piggyback off of what Chris said, right, I had a lot of lenient professors. Or do you guys remember in high school in math class, you're like, you can't use a calculator when you're in college. You have to know this. And it's like, no, my professor asked me to get a finance calculator, a calculator on my iPhone to help me in class. And, that definitely helped me. I also thought, in college, I'm just going to eat from the caf, and that would have been sufficient enough. It is not, especially if you like to cook for yourself or you like different kind of things. But this is also before the CAF changed and renovated itself. I do want to tell you guys, if you haven't been saving, start saving now, because I used to work at the campus center. I would get my checks. I would go to the mall, buy all these things. And then next thing you know, I needed groceries and I didn't have savings. I did not have savings. You don't understand how upset I was. And my family likes to teach lessons. So I think I called my brother. I'm like, hey, can you loan me like $50 or something so I can get these groceries? And he was like, no, why haven't you been saving? So After that point, I started saving and I got my finances together. So start now, don't wait till later.
So for me, I assumed that having the time slots in the middle of classes was going to be like so good, like so helpful. But it turned out to be stressful because might have to touch on something right before class. So it's not like high school where like you just have class after class after class and there's not much breaks. Granted, some of you have like study breaks, but um in college, I thought I would just be able to sleep in between classes, which sometimes I did, but sometimes I had to catch up on homework because my time management wasn't that good. I tried to procrastinate. Then I wound up being late for a class. It's really just it's a snowball effect. It can be. It can be a snowball effect if you don't try to get on top of what you're gonna do like throughout your 4 years or however long you're in college for. Zima, the question was what do you think I don't remember the question actually. Sorry.
The question was, what did you assume about college? Like if you think back in your summer institute when you first started college, what did you assume about college that ended up not being true? I think you're muted.
That ended up not being true. I think I want to go, okay. You remember when your teachers in high school used to tell you that, oh, your college professors aren't going to be that lenient. Oh, I'm preparing you for college. I'm going to tell you the truth. High school does not prepare you for college. Your freshman year and this like little piece of EOF is what's preparing you for the rest of it, because it's nothing like that. You have so much freedom that if you don't control it, if you don't control yourself, it's going to be a waste because your grades are going to suffer. Everything is going to suffer. I'm a very like semi-structured person. Like I like to have everything in line. But if you're not like that, it's very easy to just fall apart. So I think for everyone thinking like, oh yeah, I got it because I had it in high school. I didn't study. I don't have to study in college. Not true. So just, tie your seatbelt, prepare for the ride.
I really love that little anecdote. So I know we're at time. Does anyone have questions? Like any other questions that I didn't ask or they did not cover before?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
If you guys could jump in on this, and everyone doesn't have to answer it, but I know that you all started together for the most part, right? And then there's some people that started with you guys that didn't make it to the end, and others that did. Can you talk about the intersection of the friend circle that you choose and success? Just a little bit, any one or two of you?
So like how whatever group you associate yourself with, how that relates to your studies and you said overall success. Yeah, I think personally people do have an impact because you see some people not having you connect with this person, for example, this arbitrary person. You do connect with them on a social level. Maybe you find a lot of things in common, but it's just when you spend enough time with somebody that doesn't have the same outlook as you professionally, educationally, then that starts to take a toll on your own motivation, and you feel comfort with this person. That's really, it shouldn't be comforting. This person should be motivating you. This person should be supporting you in everything that you do. But just remember that you could talk to this person. You could try to change their mentality about things. You can try to change their outlook to be more of a positive outlook, because that to me, it sounds like this person has a lot of negativity, and they weren't exactly told from somebody as a mentor, teacher, whatever, that about positive things to think about. So just remember to surround yourselves. And even if this person's your best friend, years they've been your best friend, just try to be their mentor. You don't have to exactly be mentored 24/7. It is important to be mentored, but once you're mentored, you know how you kind of become the mentor in a way, so you can reflect that onto others. So yeah, just try to surround yourself with positive people, with positive outlooks, with and that have an idea of what professional development's really like. And again, change is possible. People can be changed in a good way.
I agree. I mean, my dad gave me this advice when I was very young. He said, be friends with everyone because you don't know when you're going to need them, but keep your boundaries in check and your boundaries, in line, because there's a lot of people, you're going to meet a lot of people that are very fun, but they're going to drag you down and you're going to spiral. So in terms of being friends, have different friends for different things, but make sure that your priorities are straight, because if they're failing and you're failing too, like, how are you going to help each other? You know what I mean? So make sure that the friend groups are close knit and you all have the same mentality, the same outlook.
And just to piggyback off of what Zema said, boundaries. I did have friends where I feel like boundaries were crossed, and I feel like they were messing with my goals and where I see myself, because I always like to look at the bigger picture. Where is this going to go from here? And sometimes with these friends, it can get progressively worse, or you can find that in between where it's like, hey, I can hang out with you, but to a certain point, I have to do what I need to do. You are going to have friends that might get jealous that you have new friends, or that you have friends that do other things outside of what they like to do. And that's okay. You want to broaden your horizons while you're in college, and it's okay to do that as well. Unfortunately, not everyone makes it to the end, but you are at college for you. Your professional growth, for you to become independent. So you have to look at the bigger picture and the outcome of your actions.
They're all smart, so I agree with all of them.
Wonderful. So I know we're at time, and if I know Nabil did, but if any of the other panelists are comfortable, you don't have to. If you want to share an email, if students do have questions, maybe something specific about your major or where you're working now, or kind of your trajectory of what you were involved in college. If you feel comfortable, feel free to put it on the chat. Otherwise, you guys can always ask us, and we're always, of course, we're going to help you. Your counselors are going to help you navigate this. But I really want to just say thank you. I want to say thank you to our panelists for taking time out on their Wednesday to participate. This was really exciting to see all of you guys again in your different journeys, and I hope you stay connected with us. We always love hearing from our students and seeing where your paths are taking you in life, and we're here to support you even when you're not in the EOF anymore, you're not in college. So please always reach out to us. And to our peer coaches who are our panelist hosts today, you guys did a wonderful job, and I really appreciate you guys stepping up and doing this. And for everyone else, I hope this was helpful. I hope it was helpful seeing other students who've been here, who were literally in your shoes 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and seeing that it does go by very quickly, and that there are a lot of options and a lot of supports here for you all. So if you guys have any questions, please let us know. But otherwise, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
Wait 1 second. Chris, you didn't tell us what class you're teaching in the fall.
Yes.
I am teaching I'm teaching Spanish 102, I believe. It's a 3-credit course. So you're required, so if you're taking Spanish starting at the 101, you're required 2 semesters. So that's Spanish 101, yet you go up to 102. I believe if you're proficient enough in the language, you can get away with taking the 102. But yeah, it's a 3-credit course. I think at this point it's on WebReg. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to, if you want to double check, I mean, my name was in this Zoom. So I can type it in the chat, my full name in the chat again. But yeah, it's a Spanish course. Spanish is required. Completion of the Spanish courses are required for students. I think there's an exception with nursing students. I'm not sure if that's changed over time, but yeah, if you all are interested, if you're not taking French or German, yeah, because we have those 3 languages, then definitely consider taking my course. And yeah, I hope to shed some knowledge onto you guys about the Spanish culture.